Hi, it is Monday, the 12th of July 2021, and I'm driving the second generation Mercedes-Benz GLA. To be precise, I am driving the GLA 220D 4MATIC with Mercedes' all-wheel drive system. This car has an ex-showroom price of 47.7 lakh. You can buy the GLA 200, which is the petrol model, for as little as 43 lakhs, and you can buy the 220D without the 4MATIC system for 2.5 lakhs cheaper than this particular car. We'll get to the whys and why nots of having the 4MATIC later on, but let's look at the GLA first. So this second generation GLA will build on the success of the first generation GLA, the car that really, in my opinion, kick-started Mercedes-Benz's huge sales success in India over the last few years. A decent luxury SUV, affordable to a large part of the audience, and competed strongly against the BMW X1 and the Audi Q3. This car also will go up against the current BMW X1. Audi doesn't have a new Q3 in the market, and it will also go up against the Volvo XC40. What are the headline numbers? Well, first things first, this car is actually slightly shorter than the outgoing model, being 14 mm shorter, but it has a longer wheelbase of 30 mm, so the wheelbase has been extended while the car has been made slightly shorter. It is, however, wider, and crucially, it is over 100 mm taller than the outgoing model, which really doesn't just help with the headroom right now, but it plays a major role in making the car look a lot more like an SUV. The first generation GLA felt like a hatchback on stilts. This one at least looks the part of being an SUV. How do I think this car will compete against other cars? So let's look at, I won't just get to the driving. I mean, you're not just buying a luxury car or a luxury SUV for the driving. So you have the similar layout, a very similar layout to Mercedes-Benz's A-Class that I drove a few months ago, you know, very similar AC vents over here, and you have the MBUX display out here, which is really smart. MBUX is beautiful. It's actually designed a lot of the MBUX stuff, including the layout, including the software for it, and some of the designs are all done by Mercedes-Benz Research and Development India in Bengaluru. So in fact, in every Mercedes-Benz car that is sold in the world, there is a piece of India. In fact, there's more bits of India in a Merc than in any of the other luxury brands, even though many of them do have software development centers in India. Mercedes has actually done a great job. MBUX is really nice, but I think the lack of wireless Apple CarPlay is a little bit of a bugbear for me. I'm running my phone off Bluetooth right now. It's very good. You get to see the album art cover. You've got a bunch of features on this car. For example, even with comfort, I can, for example, choose some seat kinetics over here through light seat movement. Nice. It's not exactly a massage chair like you get in other cars, but sort of makes it comfortable when you're driving along. What else? You can, of course, change the displays, which are very smart, very nice. Mercedes has played around with their steering controls. This is the similar steering controls you get in the E-Class. I haven't yet driven the new S-Class, of course. That's another tier of steering controls. What I have never really liked on any Merc, and for many years, is the fact they put the gear lever on a stick. Simple. It's not like you're changing the gears shift or as you did in the old Premier Padmini. But it's weird because you actually have some place here to put, you know, a proper automatic shifter. This is a bit of a pain for me. Yes, you get used to it, and you know, possibly as automotive evaluators we complain more because we are constantly changing the cars that we drive. What I liked about the GLA 220D is yesterday I took a long drive to Greater Noida, and the car returned an extremely high fuel economy for me. I mean, over 20 kilometers a litre. And driving from Delhi to Greater Noida might be, you know, considered doing a long drive on a highway or an expressway, but those are high-speed urban roads. I mean, it's a 100 kilometer an hour limit road, but it's a high-speed urban road because Delhi to Greater Noida is a commute. It's not a joyride. And getting a car that can do 20 kilometers a liter, yes, it's diesel, yes, there's a 10-year rule, but I don't know how that will change with BS6 norms coming across. It's really nice. Because of the longer wheelbase though, one of the nicer things is that you do get more rear leg room, although there are some compromises maybe on luggage space. However, I've never considered people who should buy a luxury car, or any car for that matter, based on the space of the boot, because you should not ever buy a car or choose a car based on a use case that you'll have it, use case you might only use once or twice in a year. If you're going on a long drive and you really need luggage space, I would really suggest you buy something like the Kia Carnival or the Toyota Innova, because that's got luggage space. This car is not one that's designed for luggage space. It is a very nice highway cruiser though. I like the fact that Mercedes has their cruise controls, all the cruise control dials over here. The fact that I can change the displays from this touch sensitive key over here, it's really, really nice. Now, this is a first drive impression, so I will really not necessarily compare it to its rivals. Now, the key rival over here for them being the BMW X1. But driving dynamics on this car, if you're driving at 80, 90 kilometers an hour, this is a very comfortable drive. My issue with Mercedes, and this is not just Mercedes but many other brands, I know they've put in the speed alarms at 80 kilometers an hour and 120 kilometers an hour. Mercedes has hard coded the speed alarm into the system, so even if I'm listening to music at a very loud volume, the alarm will still go through. It's fine if you get an alarm once in a while to remind you you're driving at 80 kilometers an hour, but when you live in Delhi NCR and you have a lot of high-speed roads, including the Eastern Peripheral Expressway and the Western Peripheral Expressway, which have limits of 120 kilometers an hour, it does get very irritating. I mean, yesterday, for example, I wasn't driving really fast. I actually kept the car at a cruise control of 75 kilometers an hour because I really did not want to get irritated by the noise, because it does eventually give you a headache. But irritating the life out of drivers is, even if you're going at 80 plus, I mean, highway speeds are 90, all the expressways such as the excellent Agra-Lucknow expressways have got a limit of 100 plus. It's kind of irritating, right? The A-class sedan is possibly cheaper, but of course the fascination people have for SUVs is what will drive them towards this. A couple of things I did not find great. I don't like these plastic inserts over here. This doesn't feel Mercedes to me. I mean, the quality of the plastics and the interior X and the steering wheel over here, with the stitching and the grip, is class leading. I love the AC controls and the ambient lighting systems and the multicolor animation you have at night. It's really, really nice. You've got a panoramic sunroof, as you can see. But these silver inserts, they bother me. So I don't like the silver inserts on the door handle as well. This is peculiar to Mercedes. They always put the seat controls on the door. My problem there is a bit peculiar because sometimes, like, my wife and I, we take one car out, her car is parked at the back. She says, what car do you have? And I say, I have this. So when my wife drives, she's shorter than me. So, for her to get in and adjust the seat, it's easier. But if the seat is adjusted to her height and she's half a foot shorter than me, I have to adjust the seat. Now, once you sit into the car, you cannot, because you're cramped up already. And if you do it with the door open and you're sitting inside, it's a bit irritating because you've got to reach out. Not ergonomically the best thing. I mean, you can easily otherwise get into the car and just go put your hand down here and adjust the seat. This is across all luxury car brands. Every brand that has a touch control over here, very nice. But these touch controllers are actually designed for European markets because those are left-hand drive and you're using the touch controller with your right hand and not your left hand. Typing out stuff with your left hand, not the easiest thing to do if you're a right-handed person like I am. So yeah, these are pet peeves, again not peculiar to the GLA, but some of them are peculiar to Mercedes, like the gear and the seat controllers. This is these touch controllers that the BMW has them, Audi has them, JLR cars have them. It's a bit of a pain. I mean, I don't know what else you could do, but you could possibly put in maybe hard buttons over here which are easier to operate. So very nice car to drive, very smooth. Maybe not the most engaging driver's car, but this is, if you want to get into a luxury brand, it's a very good looking car. It's a very smart looking car. I like what they've done with the headlights on new Mercedes design, and they've got the entire grille design with the diamond cut little bits. It's really nice. It looks really nice at night when you're driving this car. So yeah, definitely something I could easily recommend, given that this market is primarily between this car and the BMW X1 right now, with Audi not having a competitor. As for the 4MATIC, the all-wheel drive system is brilliant on this car, but my problem is there are very, very few situations where you might end up using an all-wheel drive car. Climbing hills, you go to Sanskar Valley or Lahore Spiti, you go on some really rough roads, and maybe having an all-wheel drive system will give you some more peace of mind out in those areas. But for regular day-to-day usage inside the city, and keep in mind most of these cars are used only in the city, I don't think it makes sense to have the 4MATIC. It's a really nice feature to have, but would you spend 2.5 lakh rupees extra on getting a 4-wheel drive system? I don't necessarily know that if I would. It's really nice. MBUX is excellent, and I'm really proud that MBUX is developed in India by MBRDI in Bengaluru. It's something to be really proud of from an automotive standpoint, honestly, for India, is because Make in India is not just manufacturing in India. MBUX is a Make in India success story, and at a level I think the government should give some credit to manufacturers such as Mercedes-Benz at some level for developing and employing thousands of engineers at Bengaluru who do a fantastic job. And I'm pretty sure that the GLA will drive Mercedes-Benz sales success in the second half of the year. They had a very good first half of 2021, despite what we've been going through as a country, as a society, as even as humanity with COVID. Mercedes had a very, very good first half of 2021, sold almost 5,000 cars. The second generation GLA will definitely drive sales, and with their new dealership model, where dealerships are franchises rather than businesses, I think Mercedes might have strong performances in the second half of 2021 and even 2022 with their new models, the GLA leading the pack. Thank you so much for watching Excuse the Beard and Kushan's Auto Reviews. Do keep watching for more. There's some really nice new exciting cars coming up as well.